Hi, everyone. I'm Brady Renfro. I'm the co-VP of membership and for the Springfield chapter of AWC and president-elect. And I'm so excited for this program and to introduce our social media experts from Springfield Clinic and UIS. But before I do, I wanted to make a few announcements. So first, I want to let you know that we're having our biannual membership drive, and it's going on right now. So today through the end of the week, you can save up to $75 when you join our chapter. So this is the biggest savings that you'll get anytime of this year. So you'll want to take advantage of it because it is a limited time offer. And I'll go ahead and put details in the chat in case you are interested in learning more. And you can also reach out to me with any questions that you have. I also wanted to let you know about our annual awards. So right now we are seeking nominations for 2 award categories. The first category is our Chapter Star Award. And this is presented annually to an AWC Springfield member for their outstanding involvement and participation in AWC. So looking for our Chapter All-Stars. And then the second category is the Professional Communicator Award. And it's presented annually to any Springfield area communications professional who has made significant contributions or impacts to a nonprofit, for-profit, media organization, or has made a difference in a community as a communications leader, innovator, mentor, and just that their career, especially during this last year, has had outstanding results. So that would be another person that you can nominate for our Professional Communicator Award. So if you know anyone who would be deserving of either of these rewards, please fill out our nomination form. So I'll put that in the chat as well. And we'll announce the winners at an awards social that we're hoping to have on May 26th. So we'll be posting more about that on our social media pages. So follow us on Facebook and Twitter and maybe sometime TikTok. Also, please introduce yourself. So in the chat, we like to hear who's on here. You know, since it's virtual, we don't get to do the networking part of our program, which we really miss. So please just in the chat, tell us your name and where you're from. So I see a lot of names on here that I don't recognize and sure would like to know more about you. So go ahead and put that in the chat. Okay, enough from me. So now I'm going to introduce our guest today. So we have Julie Craig, and she is the Marketing Communications Digital Manager at Springfield Clinic. She oversees all campaigns, websites, social media, and more for the clinic. Her career has led her to work on the national Kellogg's Frosted Flakes campaign and local campaigns for BJ Grand Salon and Spa, Zara's Collision, Boris Seed. And one of her philosophies is that media is constantly evolving, and sometimes your brand needs to take a beat and see how it can be use the platform to its advantage. We also have Blake Wood, and Blake is the Assistant Director of Public Relations at the University of Illinois Springfield. He's responsible for managing UIS's social media efforts, including creating video, photo, written content. He has a background in TV news, worked for WCIA TV as a producer, weather anchor, and reporter. He has a bachelor's degree in communication studies from Eastern Illinois University and a master's degree in communications from UIS. He's a Central Illinois native, originally from a small town in Morgan County. I think I know which town. We went to school together. We also have Angela Try. She's a communications practitioner with 28 years of experience. After 18 years in TV broadcast news as a reporter and anchor, she transitioned to public relations and marketing, working for the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District, Girl Scouts of Badgerland Council, and now the University of Illinois Springfield. Angela specialized in content creation and working with various UIS departments on communication plan organizations based upon their goals and objectives. She's also Vice President of Marketing on the Abraham Lincoln Boy Scout Board of Directors. Angela resides in Chatham with her husband and 4 children. And last but not least, we have Haley Payne. She is a senior communications major at UIS who is graduating in May. And since January 2021, she has worked as an UIS student social media content creator. On a weekly basis, she creates TikTok videos and Instagram and Snapchat stories for the top level UIS social media accounts. Haley has been key to the success of UIS's TikTok account, which has added hundreds of additional followers thanks to her content. Following graduation, Haley will work as digital content specialist for Horace Mann, and she is from Springfield and attended Sacred Heart Griffin. So with that, I want to turn it over to you guys for a wonderful program.
Thanks, Brandy. Like she mentioned, I'm Craig. And let's just jump into it. A brief overview of what is TikTok. So it was launched in 2016 by the Chinese startup company ByteDance. Then they acquired it, the rival app Musical.ly, which gave them access to the US users. It is short form video sharing app. Videos are set to popular music. Trends often involve dancing or other types of performances. Most downloaded app of 2021 with 656 million downloads. TikTok constantly ranks as the top or second most downloaded app in the App Store or on Google Play. And in July of 2021, it hit 3 billion downloads. So quite a big jump.
We wanted to talk about kind of the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic on TikTok. During the start of the pandemic, most of us were all spending more time at home, of course, and looking for ways to entertain ourselves. It was during that time that TikTok saw a substantial growth in its number of users as they tried to stay connected to the outside world. As you can see from this graph, TikTok saw a large increase in the 15 to 25-year-old age group, where the audience increased by 18% during the early days of the pandemic. And TikTok also saw an 8% growth among all users during those early days of the pandemic. Talking a little bit more about that, TikTok generally has a more positive sentiment score than other social media platforms that are out there. And this was especially during those early days of the pandemic as well. Sprinkler measured people's feelings towards social media in those early days. And as you can see, TikTok has a much higher sentiment score. Social media overall gets a much negative sentiment score. So why do more people like TikTok than the other platforms? Well, at least this article guessed that it's because more people are trying to find ways to avoid the negative content that is often found on social media platforms like Facebook. So they've turned to TikTok for those fun and positive videos. And TikTok is increasing in popularity as a social media platform. This graphic from Hootsuite kind of shows where it's at right now. TikTok has about 1 billion users right now, but Facebook is still king with its 2.9 billion total users. So it's moving up, but it's a fast growth that they've seen over the past few years.
All right, so who's using TikTok? Well, TikTok has 80 million monthly active users right here in the United States, and 60% of them are females. So more females are using TikTok than the males are. And if you look at the age breakdown in the next graph, you'll see that the majority of these users are younger, with more than 32% that are between the ages of 10 and 19. The 20-somethings aren't too far behind. And of course, the numbers go down as the audience gets a little bit older. When you move to that next one, Blake, that means that 80% of TikTok users are between the ages of 16 and 34. That is Gen Z, and then a portion of millennials as well. But Gen Z, those are your trendsetters, excuse me, those are your influencers, your social media influencers. By 2023, Gen Z will be the largest generation with 74 million people in the United States, and they prefer TikTok over Instagram. That is their number one, their app of choice. But more importantly, as our next slide shows, they engage with it more. Now, of course, your engagement is that measure of quantity, who's interacting with you, that measure of success on social media. Social media engagement is the measure of comments, likes, and shares. And I have a great example here. Jennifer Lopez recently posted the exact same video on both Twitter and TikTok. Now on Twitter, she has 45 million followers. And on TikTok, she only has 5 million, probably because she's a Gen Xer. Well, despite that, her video on Twitter only received 2 million views, even though she had 5 million followers. But the video on TikTok got 71 million views, even though she only had 5 million followers on TikTok. So that shows you that engagement over Instagram. The engagement is substantially higher on TikTok than it is on the other platforms, as you can see, and that difference in gap is only growing.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm going to talk a little bit about the features of the app itself. So when you first open the app, you're going to be presented with 2 pages of content. So you can either scroll through the following page or the For You page, which is abbreviated as FYP. And the difference between the two is the following page only shows you content from the accounts that you follow. And the For You page, it shows you content from accounts that you don't necessarily follow, but it's based on your personal interests. So TikTok has an algorithm that happens all behind the scenes as you're scrolling through TikTok, interacting with different videos and liking stuff. It will take that into consideration into what you're interested in, and they'll put that on your feed or the page of content for you to see. So another feature of TikTok, which is very specific to TikTok, is stitching and duetting. So stitching allows you to create a video based on another account's clip, and you can add your own clip to the end of it. So you're kind of taking one person's video, adding your own to make one new video. And duetting is very similar to stitching because you can also have a video with an account going at the same time. And that's what you can see in the left-hand picture there, is they'll play the 2 videos side by side. And to get to these features on the TikTok app, you'll see an arrow below the comments and above not the comments, comment section was right. And you'll see the arrow, you can click on it, and that's where you can share videos. You can also duet and stitch it. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about hashtags, because hashtags are the key to getting your videos to pop up on people's For You pages. And that's what you want, because you're not only going to get people who follow you to seeing your videos, you're also going to get someone who's scrolling through their For You page will see your video also. And so a hashtag is a word or phrase that is hyperlinked on a social media site. And what it does is it hyperlinks your video to a group of videos using the same hashtag. So say someone looks up a hashtag and they click on it, they'll see your video pop up within the groups of all the other videos that have used the hashtag also. All right, so how do you make a TikTok? So you're going to open the app and you're going to press the plus icon that's located towards the bottom of the interface of it. And so you can upload your content in 2 ways. You can either upload it straight from your camera roll on your phone, or you can record a video through the app itself. So when you're recording a video through the app itself, you're going to press the little red circle down at the bottom, and then you're going to tap it to start it, and then you're also going to tap it to end it. And what's cool about it is you can start and stop a video however many times you want. So you get multiple clips together in one recording if you'd like. And then uploading it from your camera roll, it's just taking the videos that are in your photo library on your phone, and you can use that. All right, so once you uploaded your content, you're gonna be taken to this screen here. And this screen is where you can do all of your editing. So you can add things like text, you can add stickers, put some filters on there. You can even do auto captions. And the auto captions will listen to what is said in the video and then put the text of it for it. And also going back to the text, you can type it on there. You can also set the duration of it. So if you don't want your text to appear in the whole video, you can set how many seconds you want it to appear. And then another feature you can add on the screen is sound. And so you click the add sound button and you're taken to the image on the right, and you can choose a bunch of different sounds from there. All right, and then once you have all of your editing done, it will take you to this final screen, and here's where you can add your caption, add your hashtags, tag people. And then once you have all that filled out, you can hit post, and then you just made your first TikTok.
So we kind of wanted a sidebar on the music of TikTok. So there are 2 different types of pages that you can create, a business account or a creator account. So I think we can all kind of know what those are. A creator allows you to have full access to all the music that is out there, all the sounds, basically all what you want. A business account really kind of limits that due to licensing agreements that those artists have or the influencers have on their sounds. So as Springfield Clinic, we have a business account. So finding that popular song is great, but we as a business are not able to use it because we do not have the licensing for it. And honestly, I don't think Springfield Clinic would be cool for us to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars to get that. So there are subtle ways around it. Not that I'm saying that you should cheat the system, but just letting you know what's out there. So we have had providers or groups create their own TikToks and share them with us so that then we post theirs on our content. You can find the knockoff versions that other people have created when you're searching for the popular song. That does take quite a bit of digging, but they are out there. Or you can look to any sound subscriptions you have through your production team, if you have one, or any music licensing subscriptions out there on the World Wide Web, to download from there and then add them into your music, because then you can mark that you're using it for advertising purposes. But there are ways around it, but just we wanted you guys all to know that there are two different kinds of accounts that come with different variables with music. So success with TikTok, both of our groups have seen it, and we're going to kind of just jump into it. So Springfield Clinic launched our TikTok in April of 2021. A side crazy story was one day my VP had asked, why aren't we on TikTok? And I was like, we're not going to go on TikTok. We're Springfield Clinic. We're healthcare. That's not happening. But of course, then I was like, well, why aren't we on TikTok? So me and my social media coordinator got together and made an action plan. Why are we going to be on TikTok? What are we going to say? Why would people care about what we would say? So we got all that together, found our champions to start our TikTok account with, reached out to popular groups and departments within our clinic and launched. And to our surprise, but great, wonderful surprise, it was a hit. We are at 23.4 thousand followers right now. We have over 8 million video views, and we continue to grow. And it has been a really exciting time for the clinic. At the time, there wasn't really a healthcare organization on TikTok in our area, but we've seen, creators come up, and now other groups do it. So it's been kind of a wild ride. Blake?
Yeah, and UIS kind of has a little bit of a similar story. We kind of soft launched our TikTok in October 2019. At first, we weren't quite sure what to do with it, kind of like Springfield Clinic's story there. It seemed like a pretty neat app where we could edit some videos and maybe export them and post those videos on Instagram and get some popularity and likes there on Instagram. But as TikTok's popularity took off, we quickly realized we needed to have a more active presence on the platform. So we began producing weekly videos, and we cross-promoted the fact that we had a TikTok account on our other social media channels, so people would go and follow us on TikTok. We currently have more than 660 followers, and we've had more than 100,000 video views.
So both of us kind of take a different approach to our content. Springfield Clinic creates more topically focused content, which has a wider appeal. As you guys know, healthcare touches everyone. So we are able to kind of pick and grab different ideas from that and create those TikToks. We're UIS.
Yeah, we create more brand specific content. So we're producing TikToks about things that our students are doing on campus. We're producing general information videos about the university, trying to get information out there to prospective students, because we know that our age group that we're trying to reach to recruit for college is the age group of the people on this app. So that's why it's really important TikTok to us, because we know we're reaching the audience we want to reach on this app. And UIS has also had success with downloading our TikTok videos and uploading them to Instagram Reels, which if you're familiar with Instagram Reels, it's basically the TikTok of Instagram. You can flip through your feed kind of just like you do on TikTok. And we actually often get more video views on Instagram Reels than we do TikTok, which we found interesting. But the reason we think that's happening is because we have more followers on Instagram, so we have a larger audience already built up there. Now talking to Julie, it's kind of the opposite for Springfield Clinic, right?
It definitely is. And we see more success in engagement and followers on our TikTok account than we do on our Instagram. We do a similar thing where we take certain TikToks and post them on our Reels. We're trying to, become more consistent with those. Some content is flat on Instagram on Reels, where it just blows up on TikTok. We definitely see higher engagement levels on TikTok. What Angela had spoken about earlier is TikTok by far leaps and bounds on our engagement than any other platform that we have.
So overall, I guess what we're trying to tell you is TikTok growth can be unpredictable. You never know what the algorithm is going to give you. You could get 2 million views on a video. You could get 100 views. You never really know until you put it out there, and whether it takes off or sometimes it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what makes great TikTok content? All of this is just kind of generally speaking, but one of the ways to make great TikTok content is following trends. And honestly, it depends on what's trending on TikTok. It literally depends on the day. So you could have one day where a certain sound is trending, or you could have another day where a certain dance is trending. And so, with trends, it just kind of takes one person to start it and then another account to do the same thing. And then that happens over and over again. And before you know it, it's all over your TikTok. So if you can hop on one of these trends, you have a chance of getting yourself more engagement because people are interested in these trends and they're seeing it all over the place on their app. And the way to know something is trending is you can just check through the For You page and look at hashtags and just see what's new, what's getting a lot of views, and what people are interested in. And then another way to make great TikTok content is using current events. So anything that is relevant at the moment. And this makes great TikTok content because people are interested in it. And so they would be more likely to want to watch it since it's relevant to the moment. Another way is humor/entertainment value. People go on TikTok to be entertained for the most part. Entertain and get information is the two main goals of TikTok. And so if you can combine both humor and information, then you're going to get to share your information in a fun, maybe even silly way to get people to remember it. Because people are going to be more likely to remember something if it made them laugh rather than just something that's boring and all fact-based. And then the last thing is the diversity of content. So trying to keep your TikTok content creative and different. And so if you have a variety of content, that makes your account interesting. So people will be more likely to follow you to see what's new, and they won't really know what to expect if you're having a different variety.
There are some things that you should avoid on TikTok. You have to understand the platform, and that's exactly what we've been talking about, that TikTok is not Facebook, it's not LinkedIn, it is not Instagram. It's its very own unique platform, and the content that you provide on there really needs to reflect that unique platform. The platform is geared to Gen Z and some millennials, as we said before. Like Haley just said, it needs to be funny and relatable and on trend. It's really not meant for a hard push of a service or product. So you really have to take a look at what your business is, what services you provide, what products you provide. Gen Z really has an aversion to ads. They grew up in this era of Hulu and Netflix where they don't have to have ads. And so they have an aversion to ads. So if you have a pushy sales message, younger users will end up avoiding your content altogether. So you have to keep that in mind when you're providing content for TikTok. As you begin, you really need to study your competition. And Julie really talked about this, especially in the healthcare industry. They looked at their competition and saw that there wasn't a competition. So they were sort of the trendsetters, Springfield Clinic was. So really look at your competition, both locally, not just here in Springfield or in Illinois, but also nationally, because you're all pushed into that same TikTok app, right, to see what they're doing and use it for inspiration. We follow a lot of university accounts. We recreate or take some ideas and then do a different unique spin or twist on them. There's no need to reinvent the wheel all the times, as long as you're not stealing it directly and copying it directly, as long as you're sort of putting that unique twist onto it. But we do follow a number of university accounts, and in turn, they follow us as well. Use music. The platform is an extension of the Musical.ly app and platform. So be sure to listen to the lyrics. We're an educational institution who works with youth. So some of those lyrics sometimes have words that maybe shouldn't be used in an educational setting. So that's up to your business, right? So there are clean versions, like Julie talked about the music, there are clean versions. So, or else oftentimes Haley or Blake will edit the song to stop at a point before maybe a word that is used that we wouldn't particularly like, or maybe just choose another song altogether. Use hashtags, and Haley talked about this. You might need to do some research on the hashtags that are trending, which ones to use, but hashtags are going to help the users cut through all of that digital clutter and focus on the information that they want. So be generous in your hashtag. Try to add more than just one. Try to add 2 or 3 or 4 hashtags when you're using a TikTok. And then lastly, avoid those controversial topics. So be on trend, what Haley was saying, but really avoid those controversial topics. There's plenty of other social media platforms where users go to debate and get into deep, dark discussions, and TikTok is the escape from that. So if you get into these really pushy, debatable conversations, you're going to push users away. So it wants to be light and humorous. So TikTok is just sort of an escape from all of that.
Sorry, I had to get myself unmuted. So now we're going to talk about what TikTok is part of our overall communication strategy. So Springfield Clinic, our plan for content on TikTok is kind of a 50-50. Half of it's planned and other half it just comes out organically. So we have departments that have specific things that they are marketing every month, sometimes every week. And then there's also, monthly observances, Nurses Week, et cetera, that we cater to. So those types of things are planned. But then there's those things that are organic that just kind of pop up. Most recently was Tuesday, on February 2nd, 2022, where me and my other digital coordinator, Taylor, got together and said, let's go. And we drove around to different locations and got doctors and people in the organization to throw up the peace sign for Tues and create just organic content, or somebody in, when we're out and about, just wants to do one and it just organically comes together. So we have a plan, but we also don't pigeonhole ourselves in it. We allow for those opportunities to come out, or, like a trend pops up and we have to capitalize on it right away. We use the platform to expose departments to a new audience. Like they had mentioned earlier, it's a younger demographic. That younger demographic does not have a primary care provider. They don't always come in for their yearly checkups or see specialists. So we have to kind of teach them about us, teach them about medical things, make it a fun platform to talk about it. We're able to be a little bit more creative here than we are, say, on a Facebook. We've been given the blessing to have more fun with it. So it's a toolbox or a tool in our toolbox that we use for when a department needs a little extra exposure. And a lot of them get really behind it, and we're excited about that. And they don't always necessarily have to talk. I know talking sometimes isn't the funnest thing. So pointing and doing a little thing is completely fine and normal. People like that information. It allows us to give our providers some humanization. We understand a doctor can be scary, or a location can be scary to some people if they don't know what they're going into, or they see that just photo, that headshot of a provider, and they don't smile. But here they are doing a TikTok dance, or they're, giving you information. It brings that level of normalcy to them. And also the biggest thing is just making healthcare relatable. That was the big thing when we started this, is how can we make ourselves relatable for everyday use? We're not just here when you need us, we're here all the time. We're part of the community, we're part of the world in terms of we have something to say, we want to say and be a part of it. So that is kind of how it comes about and how we use it in our strategies.
And at UIS, we also take a fairly organic approach to TikTok. We have a meeting once a week where we kind of get together. We look at what's trending out there on TikTok, and then we decide what our video is going to be for the week. We do have some busier weeks where we'll do up to 2 TikTok videos, like commencement is coming up in 2 weeks. I'm sure we'll probably do 2 that week because it's going to be a very busy week. We try not to plan too far in advance, like I said, because we want to take advantage of those trends. And we do monitor other universities out there to borrow some ideas from them about what they're doing. Kind of like Julie talked about, the overall strategy behind their TikTok. What we're trying to do is to highlight our campus, highlight the fun things that students can do on campus. And especially like during the pandemic, that was especially important because you couldn't go visit a lot of colleges and universities. So TikTok was really a way for us to get our image out there so that people could see what campus is like, what we have to offer on campus. And we also do repurpose some videos that we shoot in wide 16:9 professional video format. Example of one that I've edited down to a vertical video is our Chancellor's Holiday video. So we already had a music bed on that video from our Camerata music students. They performed a holiday song. So perfect for TikTok, already had music attached to it. And I just edited that into a vertical video, posted it. And we got fairly good results on TikTok from that video. So you can repurpose things that you use from professional videos and have success with that on TikTok.
So one thing that Springfield Clinic has done over UIS is we have played around with the campaign, the boosted video side of it. We did it mainly for recruitment purposes. Ensure everybody here knows that recruiting employees has become a little bit more difficult in years previous. And we've had more job opportunities open up that we have expanded the scope of where we're looking versus just Springfield plus 50 miles or one of our markets plus 10 miles. We have jobs that can recruit the entire Midwest, the entire country. So we've been playing around with that and trying to see how we can bring people in. And we've seen some successes. We've seen where we've spent very minimal amount of dollars. And when I say that, I'm talking like $10, a really low amount of money at this point. And we do plan on executing it more, where you can go in and target, different types of your videos with the hashtags and then the markets in it. And you can kind of set a price and see how it goes and see many views. We saw increased engagement. We saw ourselves getting passed and commented on a lot more to other people in that field. Radiation therapists, medical techs, lab techs. I know all that's like really exciting to all of you. But those are the places that we've seen success, because seeing that younger audience make us look, and this is going to show my age, but to show that we're cool and relevant. You know, my 12-year-old says way cooler things than I do. But you know, it gets us out there in a new exposed light, because they're job hunting completely different than what you know, I experienced way back when. So it's just a platform that we've been testing the waters with, and have seen some success.
And like Julie said, although we haven't entered the world of boosted TikTok videos, I have looked into it quite a bit. And I really want to emphasize that you can do it for pretty cheap, like, you know, 10 to 30 bucks, you can get your TikTok boosted. So if you have the ability to do that, that's a great way to reach an additional audience.
Mm-hmm.
So now what we've all probably come here for, the watch TikTok videos. So we have some examples, and I'll start with the Springfield Clinic ones. And Julie, you can kind of talk us through this a little bit.
Yeah, so I have a lot of favorites, but we're going to kind of show some of our successful ones. The first one we're going to show is Dr. Forshee. Couple big things why I love Dr. Forshee. She is our first big TikTok star, if you will. She is an OBGYN provider. Her video here that you see that's pinned has had over 2 million views. So many comments. She is just a dream to work with. And I saw Taylor is on, she's my social media coordinator. You know, we just filmed another one with her. She loves getting into it. So we'll show her, and I hope you guys love her as much as we do. So go ahead, Blake. Thanks, Blake. So what was great about her is that we posted a video, it blew up. We had comments, people tagging their friends and like, oh, did you remember to bring this? Did you remember that? You know, they were asking, why do I need to bring that? And we were able to have really close ties with her to get those answered. And then she actually went off on vacation right after this posted. And we were like, we need you to post video, like get yourself filmed so we can respond to these. And she did. So that was great. So find people that will do that for you. And be on the lookout. We're going to have more of her coming up. So I'm excited about that. And Taylor went and filmed her the other day. The next big TikTok star is Nate. He is a orthopedics PA. We did not know Nate was going to go all out when we went to film him. We just went that first time and we're like, we just want to talk about common injuries in a sports. It's orthopedics, sports injuries, kind of go hand in hand. And he took it to a brand new level for us. So if you can find somebody that wants to use props and just go, again, he's not talking, he's just acting and having fun with it. So he himself has over 5 million views on all of his videos that he's done. We're excited to get him back in the I mean the patient room soon, to go after all the different sports that people are asking for him. The number one being hockey. So hopefully we'll have a hockey one soon. So you can play the football one.
Wait a minute. Soldier boy, wait a minute.
And that's it. You know, he just really gets into it. So it's better than just standing and being a little boring, but he uses props later on. So I would love for you guys to go check him out some more. And then I think the last one, I can't remember what we decided on.
I can't remember yet.
Yes, the Veterans Day one. So this is different. You know, like we had mentioned earlier, is, you know, there are times where we don't necessarily do healthcare related stuff. We did a Veterans Day video with one of our vets. She is still active in National Guard, and you know, she was happy to do this with us. And we had other videos, other content that we did on different platforms, but this was a fun transition for us with her.
Look at me now, look at me now, look at me, look at me, look at me now. No one can buy.
So not healthcare specific, but just talking about, and thanking her for her service. And we had some wonderful people reach out in the comments and thanking her as well. And we made sure to share all of that with her. So, yep. Thank you, Blake, for playing this.
Yeah, no problem. We'll show you a few of our UIS videos now. And I want to invite Haley to chime in on any of these and talk about them because she edited most of them. Between her and I, we kind of edit all of our TikTok videos, but Haley has definitely done the majority of them this past academic year. The first one I wanted to show is kind of a trend that we jumped on, and you might have seen this on TikTok. So there were a lot of people doing a lot of interesting trends to that song on TikTok that you might have saw if you've been on TikTok, but we were actually one of the first universities to do that. So that was kind of a feather in our cap, and we noticed some other ones did it after us. So maybe they saw our video and got inspired. Another trend that we did, Haley, can you kind of set up the Orion dancing trend? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so that trend started with a certain person's account. They pulled out their drone and they did a little dance in a field, and then other accounts started like playing the intro clip from that original and then making it their own. So that's what we kind of did. We got the Orion mascot plus our drone, and then that's how we made this TikTok.
So that was another fun trend that we kind of hopped on there. But we also wanted to talk about some recruiting focused videos that we've done. We try to do a good mix of hopping on the trends just so we get some brand awareness out of that. But we also try to do some specific stuff related to recruitment. And here's an example of that. So there's another example for you. And we were fortunate that I think Haley kept all the video clips from everything she's covered this past year and was able to kind of edit those into a fun montage. But as you can see, we all have a ton of fun producing these TikToks and coming up with the ideas. I'm sure Julie would agree with that. So that's our presentation.
It looked like there might have been one question, Blake, in the comment section of how long or what's the ideal limit for TikToks. And right now the maximum is 3 minutes, but you can see from the examples that we showed you, they went from 10 to 15 seconds up to a minute. You can go up to 3 minutes right now, but later this year or summer, I believe TikTok is going up to 10 minutes eventually. Sort of what suits your needs, I suppose. Shorter attention span, keep that in mind. Gen Z, shorter attention span.
I was going to say to that 10-minute, when that kind of bumped out, I was like, not for us. I think there's, is there a program used for creative edits, or is that something done inside the platform?
I can take this question. So TikTok has a lot of editing tools in it. So you can put things like transitions. You can also use filters and stuff. And you can also change the length of each video clip too. So if you upload them from your camera roll, you can change how long you want each clip to play and like what order you want them to go in. And then another feature that it has is you can sync it to whatever sound you're using. So it'll transition your video based on the beat of the music that you're using. So yeah, so TikTok has a lot of creative ways to edit it within the app itself.
And I'll just add on to that, there is another app that we sometimes use. It's called InShot. And it's a free app that edits vertical video. And sometimes I'll use that for some of our more complex edits.
How did you decide between keeping a creator account versus switching to a business account? So for Springfield Clinic, we always started with a business account. That was due to what we had discussed with legal and privacy and what we as a company felt comfortable doing. And so that's kind of where we stay the course on it. We never thought about the creator other than like the brief second, and then realized we just needed to stay in the business side of it.
And I'll answer that in that when we started TikTok in 2019, I don't believe they had business accounts. So ours was set up as a creator account from the beginning. And we have kept it that way because of the wider availability of music that's out there. If you look at other higher ed institutions, which I did a little research on this, most of them are mixed. Some have creator accounts, some have business accounts. And once again, that reason is they want to have that popular music, the access to it, and take advantage of that.
See, what has it been like for you to get colleagues on board with starting a TikTok and open or any pushback, generally open or any pushback? So for us, we thought through all of the different things. We came up with kind of a statement as why we're doing this, got admin on board. That's the biggest hurdle for us. And then we created what we like to call our champions, people that we knew would be open to it and a little bit more fun with it. And so we have had minimal pushback from some providers. Mainly they just don't want to be involved in it. Those are the days when we're out and we're trying to grab clips of different things. And that we say that's totally fine. You do not need to be a part of it. We have a standard spiel that we do, talking about how we're opening ourselves up to new markets. We're making ourselves more relatable. With any social media, I think we kind of have to have that in our back pocket. Not everybody's going to understand what we're doing and why we're doing it, but that's our job, is to understand it. And then once one person took off and then another person took off, we really see more people asking us to be a part of it. How can I get on that TikTok? How do I do that? How can I just do it for you? We're seeing a lot more people wanting to be involved on our side, that was the end goal. That's what we really wanted to see.
To Amanda's question in the chat, do you use any content from your staff, students, or community members? We have before. We've noticed a student who did a really nice TikTok at Brooklyn's library late one night when she was studying. And I just messaged her with the account and said, hey, can we repost that on the main UIS TikTok? So if we do see something that's positive and shows the university in a good light, we do try to reach out to them and repost those things.
In terms of approaching the colleagues, Haley can probably answer that. Like you were saying, she does a lot of our TikToks here on students. Haley's roommates may not like us these days because we do a lot of go to Haley's roommates to be involved in TikToks and some of our videos. But Haley, you do have to approach a lot of students when it comes to creating some of these. What's the response do you get?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes people say no to me, and that's okay. Like, there's nothing else you can do at that point. Just say, all right, well, thank you anyway, and then move on. But however, what approach I found best that works is you just approach someone and say, hi, I'm filming a TikTok for the UIS account, and this is what I'm asking you to do. Are you interested? And then, they say yes. And then that's how you get them, because sometimes I do try to plan it ahead of time, but other times I'm like, you know what, this is a simple TikTok. Like, I'm just going to see who's sitting in the library or sitting in the cafeteria and see who wants to do it. And so, yeah, how we get our content is just walking up to someone and asking them.
To Becky's question in the chat about security concerns with TikTok, that's something we talked about a lot in the beginning. It's no secret that TikTok is owned by a Chinese company, and we talked a lot about that because there were some concerns by federal government being expressed at the time and everything about using TikTok. But I guess frankly, we decided that the risk was the reward outweighed the risk of it. And with our younger audience we were trying to reach, we just thought that was a platform we really needed to be on.
I see Brandy asked that she works for the state. No secret that people don't generally love politicians. So there's a fine line of having fun with something and people thinking they're not asking or taking their job seriously. Do you think there are some organizations and individuals who should not have a TikTok account? I don't know. Yes and no is a terrible answer. I think it is about how you position yourself. I think when you have something like politics, that's a hard one. I mean, it's always going to be hard on socials because I think we all know the social effect of people are a lot more cruel when you don't have to face them in person. So I think if you work through what type of content you're putting out there and lean into it, I think there's a way around it without, ruffling too many feathers. But then also gear up your social media response tactics. We have a document and strategy every time we're putting something out there that could potentially lead to a negative comment, or there's things going on within the clinic that we know are hot button issues within the community. And so we are always ready with a response. And take it with a grain of salt and allow yourself the opportunity. A lot of times people just want to be heard. But, again, yes and no. I would just work through that and decide, is it right for you? Are you willing to take the chance of the negativity coming back on you? Or, you might be surprised, there might be a lot of positivity. So, Blake, I'll let you weigh in on it, and Angela, you too.
I think you covered it, unless Angela, you have any thoughts?
The only thing I would say is TikTok is another social media platform. And, when I'm describing, social media platforms, even to all the different departments here on campus that want social media platforms, it's another platform that you're going to have to feed. So if that's something that you're just not going to have time to feed, maybe that's not the platform for you. Perhaps you can take it and Blake can talk about this, making videos in a creator mode and then saving them, and maybe using Reels. Instagram Reels might be that way you're not creating a whole nother account and having to feed information to a whole nother account. So that's also another option. Also look who your audience is. If your primary audience is that Gen Z millennial, then maybe TikTok. But again, it's not a platform for a hard push on products and services. So you really have to look at what your message is and what that content is and sort of balance that out as well.
Yeah, and the Instagram Reels interface is very similar to the TikTok creator interface. So, if you get comfortable on Instagram and maybe want to start a TikTok after that, that might be a good strategy if you're just starting off.
Yeah, I know the platform has the option to turn off comments. I don't ever see us doing that. I don't necessarily recommend that. The platform is there for engagement, but there's that option, but that could actually have more of a negative, experience with the user than what you're hoping for.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I think that concludes all the questions we had in the chat. If people wanted to ask more questions, is there a place where we should direct that information?
If you want to email any of us, we can put our email addresses in the chat. That way, if you wanted to reach out with any questions.
Yeah, if you're comfortable with that, I think that would be great. So just want to thank all of you for such a great program. I know I learned some new tips on how to use TikTok, so appreciate you. And also thanks to everyone who hopped on our program today. And really like seeing all these new names and some of your faces. So thanks for joining us. And don't forget to place your nominations for our annual awards. And don't forget to try to join. We'd love to have you in our group. So thanks everybody for a successful program. Take care.